but I ain't never leaving. In the studio is where I find my peace, and they want me to come home, but I ain't never leaving. In the studio is where I find my peace, and
we are here
trying to
today.
solve all my problems. I got demons.
This is your boy Jet Perry. It's my first episode in a while. Joined by Bombo Jim to the right of me.
My name's Adonis.
Bombo Jim to the right of me. Whatever he wants to be called. But we are also joined by two special guests on this episode.
Yes, sir.
These two men. The dynamic duo of the Connecticut music game right now. It's live and direct. These two men have accumulated over 12 million streams on their newest project, Life is Good. Technically new. It's about 2 years old at this time, but they're still, those streams are still racking in. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a warm welcome to Mr. Mike Squires and P.MO. I'm gonna add the bottom.
What it
good,
do,
guys?
baby?
Drop another bomb right
much,
here.
bro.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, yeah.
Obviously, these young men have been making some noise recently. You guys, well, I kind of spoke on it. Life is Good. You guys dropped that, 2017?
Yeah.
Yep.
So you guys dropped that in 2017. 12 million streams now. I don't know if it's changed since I last checked, but
I think it's like almost 13 and a half.
how does that feel?
It's good. It's
You don't,
you
don't like just walk up to people and be like, "Yo, fuck out of here." Don't speak to me like a human because I'm a god. 13
like,
million
in like
streams.
the grand scheme of thing, it's still pretty
It's like a
small
drop
potatoes.
in the bucket, yeah.
It's
I mean, think
small
about
potatoes.
there's artists that have like billions of streams.
That is true.
Drake
You know,
has that
so-
like our entire catalog, like our
has
entire
less streams than one of Drake.
yeah, you know what I mean.
So, you know.
Like,
But,
it's like,
It's Drake though. That's like a hard.
For the level we're at, like it's definitely like a nice feeling.
yeah. I mean, get real close.
Closer. Yeah,
There you go.
kind of far.
So I think like for where we're at, like in our career, like it's solid. But I think the grass is like always greener. Like every time we get to like the next level, it's like what more can we be doing? Because it's like you want to feel like you're progressing, and I think everything has been.
Nobody likes to feel really stagnant.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I know you actually just came off tour with Chris Webby.
that's correct.
Another fellow CT artist.
Yes.
If you could speak on that a little bit, how was tour?
Tour was tight. Like Webb's like a good, like his whole team is like fun. It's just like one thing I really have like a lot of respect for Webb is that like he's done most of this like independently, and the team that he rocks with is mostly Connecticut people. You know, so. I think he does like a lot for like the culture in general, and we're on his Black Friday show, so this is like his 10th annual one that he's doing this year at Toad's Place.
Is it Toad's Place?
Yeah, Toad's Place.
You guys give out the info to the viewers, so
So Toad's Place.
Black Friday,
P.MO and I will be
November
performing
29th. For those of you who don't know what day Black Friday is,
there. I didn't know what it was. Now I know. So yeah, we'll be there. We'll be there. It's us, the homie Jaron Benton, Locksmith, Spose, Chris Webby.
yeah, no, it's gonna be a good time.
That's dope. Shout out Chris Webby.
Shout out Chris Webby.
He's an OG of the CT game.
He is like the OGest.
He's
of
he
OGs.
really
is.
Really,
He's been in the game for years. He was actually the first artist to ever crash Dat Piff.
Yeah.
Wow.
Really? Yeah.
Oh,
That's a fun fact. I didn't know.
Yeah, fun fact about Chris Webby. Yeah,
CT stand up.
first artist to ever crash Dat Piff.
For
I
my
was like,
non-Connecticut listeners,
I
CT
was-
is Connecticut.
Yeah,
That's what it stands for.
yeah.
Let me talk this shit for a second though. Like Webb and I were playing Smash Bros yesterday. Scraped him across the board. Like literally was wiping the floor with him. But he got me on the last game. We were going random characters the entire time. But
What was the last match?
it was Pichu. I was Pichu, and he was like Robin or something like that. But and then he turns to me and he says, "Mike." It's like all they remember is the last game.
I still remember the last game. Back. How was it? Like 2 years ago, that legendary night where he went 6-0.
Dude.
You'll never do that ever again.
Nah.
Let's not gas him on the pod now.
Yeah.
I've been practicing.
I mean, I think I want to argue that it might have been more than 6-0, but hey, I'll take it.
I remember it was
take
6-0. You went 6-0 like Jordan and you bowed out.
Yeah.
All right, boys, I'm going home.
Yeah.
But all right, cool.
But 6-0 is still pretty good.
Yeah.
It's all right. Cool. Whatever. Paul, you wanna?
Yeah, but speaking of creatives and legendary people and
Shit, cut that out.
What?
Cut that out.
What am I?
I said
cutting out?
legendary people. I don't know why.
Okay.
I don't know
That's
why.
getting cut out.
That's getting super cut out.
No, I'm kidding.
But anyways,
Oh, I thought something was wrong with my mic.
so speaking of creatives, what do you think keeps them going?
Like
If they haven't made it to the mainstream yet.
okay,
Like what do you think kept you guys going, and what do you think keeps other people going?
I feel like P and I probably have like different answers for this one.
You want to go first? You want me to go first?
You go first. You go first.
For me, like a big part of like, I mean, granted, it's like a huge kind of like grand scheme of things that like ultimately keep me going as a whole as an artist. I would say one of them is like my family and wanting to provide a better life for everybody and kind of reach the next tier of being this person. Two, a lot of times, like out of the blue, like even if you have a very small fan base, you always have somebody somewhere that's been touched by your music and has affected them. It's helped them. Like recently, I had somebody send me a message that said one of my songs really helped them through the passing of their mother. So it's like little things like that, and really just like he was saying earlier, like the grass is always greener on the other side. You can't really focus on somebody else's grass and you got to grow your own. So as long as you stay focused and you keep pushing and I think just really staying focused on what you want to do and who you are and what you're trying to be, I think that's the best thing to keep you going, because if you're looking at somebody else and they're doing like millions upon millions of streams and you're only doing a couple thousands, you're going to be like, damn, well, I'm never going to get there. But, you celebrate 10,000 streams and don't ever like not think you've accomplished something. So I think really just like trying to be positive about your situation and everything is what really keeps you going.
Yeah, just kind of hopping off that. I think the only person you're trying to like be better
with.
than the person than you were yesterday. You know what I mean? That's like
Always,
that's
I'm
the
my
only
biggest.
Should drop a bomb on that
you're,
one.
Yeah. Well, because it's like at the end of the day, like you're the only one who can change your life. And no one else can do that for you. So
I firmly believe in they know. I mean, they know more than anybody else. I hate people that give in to weakness. I hate the victimhood mentality.
Well, no,
it's like you can have a shitty situation.
Dude,
that's life.
You can't
life
let
right
situations define you. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like just because something bad happens doesn't mean it's all over. You know what I mean? That could be like the start of like, man, be the phoenix that ashes from like comes out of the fucking ashes.
Rises from the
Like you gotta do that. Otherwise you're just gonna be in this self-pity party, just like, damn, like I wish I should have. Just do it. You know what I mean? Just do it, because a lot of the times it's people like mentally, like they're fighting themselves in their head, like, oh, I can't do that, because no, when you believe in yourself, you can make anything happen. You just have to do it. And whatever you have to do. Yeah, you got to believe in yourself. I've said this before. I will say it again. I will say it till I am dead. You have to believe in yourself before the world does.
Oh, that's big facts.
Yeah.
You have to wake up and look. Well, it depends. Like we're trying to be like more of the spectacular, glorious thing. Some people just want to be a lawyer or something.
Yeah.
But I mean, respect to that. Like that's a lot.
But it applies to
that's
any
their
hustle.
glory in their own way. You know what I mean? Yeah.
But as far as like being something like in this field, the creative
field.
arts,
Yeah.
you gotta wake up and look at yourself in the mirror
Yeah.
and see a star every day before anybody else does.
Well, it's because no one's gonna. It's not like, because a lot of people think like, oh, like how do you like have the motivation to like keep going? Like, oh, they're like, because they sit at their jobs and they're like, oh, I'm fine. It's like, yeah, because your boss tells you you're fine and your boss tells you to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
You have to do that for yourself. Being a creative, you have to provide your own like.
If you
sort
can't
of
convince yourself,
hierarchy.
you're never going to be able to convince anyone else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
Message.
just trying to keep that real.
No, that's true. There's a lot of creatives out there who don't know what to do or don't know where to go or don't know where to find that passion for themselves.
But I think a big thing is just being able to try things new, like, because...
And not being afraid to, like, take that first step.
Yeah, like, man, like, you can... Some people think it's like, oh, they want to go 6-0 and smash, right? Like, you know what I mean? That's like how, like, you have to win every single time. Why don't you go 147? You know what I mean? Take 100, like, or even 100 losses and 47 wins. You know what I mean? Because even those 47 wins are better than 6-0.
And you learn from those 100 losses. Always.
Yeah, 100%. And then you know what not to do, what works, what doesn't work.
It's always better to just try and fail than to just not try at all.
Exactly.
There's so many people with such talent and such creativity, and they just don't push for it.
Stuck in their heads.
Yeah, they get stuck in their head. They're scared to fail or whatever. scared to get judged, which is really weird.
Just keep trying something new. You know what I mean? Because eventually something will work and something will stick. But if you are afraid to do something new or like adapt or like try something, like you can't be the dude. Like for example, like TikTok out now. Like a lot of people are like, oh, like that's for kids. But you know what I mean? You might have
TikTok has started a lot of career or helped a lot of careers.
I mean, Rolling Stone released an article that said the key factor in getting a multi-million-dollar record deal in today's climate is having a viral TikTok song.
You know what I mean? So it's
Lil
like
Nas X came off.
Old Town Road, dude. A lot of people, and it's like, but you know, instead of, and that's just an example. It doesn't have to be TikTok or like anything in general, but it's like, don't knock it before you try it, because if you're knocking it, you've already counted yourself out. All of a sudden, you throw your song up there, and it's getting used in like a dance challenge. All of a sudden, next thing you know, you're on a tour because your song blew up that big and it changed your life.
Yo, homie who made Hit the Quan, who knows where he is now. But homie who hit the Quan, I remember he was on the BET Awards, shucking and jiving off of one song. And I was like, sheesh, like, this man made one song, it popped off, and now he's got to perform this for the rest of his life. But, I mean,
there's a new one every year. There's
a new one every year. And I always respect those kids who come up off those one songs. And because you made your bet. Hopefully you invested wisely.
Yeah.
Money, so.
Every song that you put out is like a strategic lottery ticket. You know what I mean? That's the way you should look at it. Like there should be some strategy in your release, but you never know what it's going to do. So it's like this song could be the song that goes. Just like a lottery ticket. This could be the lottery ticket that...
It could be the song that goes. You made it now. 3 years later, it blows up.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
That happened with the Soldier, Crank That. Like, he dropped it in like, I think 2005, and it popped off like almost a year and a half later.
Shout out to LimeWire.
Yeah,
that
was LimeWire.
Remember those LimeWire?
I was more of a FrostWire guy.
I got FrostWire after LimeWire got.
Well, see, I had LimeWire on my PC when I switched to Mac.
I did not have sexual relations with that.
Yo, it was always the Bill Clinton speech, dude. It was always the Bill Clinton speech. I
definitely got that a few times.
It was either the Bill Clinton speech or Soulja Boy. Every time I went to download like any song.
Yeah,
and it would be labeled differently the whole time. Like,
I wonder why it was Bill Clinton. I really do.
They were just trolls. Like,
yeah, pretty much.
I'd be waiting for like a new fucking Drake song or Chris. I did not have sexual relations with that. I was like,
what my fellow Americans.
Shout out whoever made FrostWire, LimeWire. Super illegal, but shout out you.
Yeah.
How many people?
You robbed the record label, like the record business of millions of dollars, but
and also damaged your computer.
And damage your computer.
Yeah.
How many people got cease and desist letters to their like home?
So I never got any for LimeWire for music, but I used to get them for movies all the time.
I don't know what I'm. Yeah, allegedly. So did I for Godzilla. Allegedly.
I allegedly got
2014
one from
Godzilla.
From Dark Knight.
I think so. Allegedly.
Did you?
Allegedly.
Why do you say allegedly?
Because allegedly.
Because allegedly.
Allegedly.
I see. All right.
Yeah, there's
fans watching
out here. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's a lot of young creatives out there, like, who don't know where to put their creativity. Like,
yeah.
Well, there's so many people who don't know what their passion is yet.
Yeah.
Like, when did you guys find your passion, or when did anybody here find their passion, or find what they're passionate about, if they found something yet?
That's a good question. For me personally, like, I've known since I've been just creating, drawing, painting. Like, that's like how I started when I was like young. So I've just been creating like ever since like me. You know what I mean? So I guess that's where like it stems from that, and just turning it into an actual career, doing like a lot of music videos. Like, I've always known that I've wanted to do something like creative, so like music videos, like all that type of stuff. So I don't know, it just happened. Like, it's not like I was like planned like this is what I'm gonna do, this is how I'm gonna do it. Like, I think even to this day everything is like changing and forming like a new.
So you just
thing.
Consistently create. There's no
there's no like real like strategy. I was like trying to create with as many people as possible. I think that was like try to find like like-minded people.
When you were making the videos back.
Just everything, yeah. Just everything. Like trying to figure out like, what I can do to take it to the next level. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
What about you, P?
Kind of like the same boat. Just like creating my whole life. Always played music. Was like in band and choir and orchestra. Like growing up, always taking music classes. But I think what really like flipped the switch for me is a lot of things. One, I like really first started writing music when I was in like 7th grade because I was like obsessed with poetry and like writing poetry. So like I'd been writing poetry since like 5th grade, and then like around like 7th, 8th grade, I really got heavy into writing poetry, and I kind of had the idea, like, oh, maybe I could write some songs one day, whatever. Like, combine my love of music and my love for poetry. But what really actually sealed the deal for me in, like, going for it was the summer before 9th grade, I went to a Mac Miller show, R.I.P., a week after Kids came out at Toad's Place. And I saw this normal white kid from the suburbs in, like, Pennsylvania, like, on stage making rap music, and I was like, all right. Like, I think I could do this too.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of your early stuff like reminded me of Mac. You know? What
yeah,
I mean?
for sure,
so
sure.
I definitely hear the influence. Like, you know.
I used to do like remixes and covers and stuff like all the time to like old Mac Miller songs.
Oh, can you tell them where you can find that?
You can. You
Should
cannot.
we put the link in the bio?
Good luck finding it.
I really do appreciate like the creative arts at all. Like two things that really like stuck out to me were like kind of like performance arts and writing. Like most of these like really embedded themselves to me like in high school. Remember that one of the play I did with you
Oh yeah, guys,
I used to do a bunch of plays, bro.
Bye Bye Birdie as
well. Or it was Bye Bye Birdie.
It was
also
Bye Bye
senior
Birdie.
year.
Yeah. And then I remember I credit my love for writing to my 10th grade English teacher, Mr. Ringo. Shout out Ringo.
Man. Ringo. I don't know if you watched this, but John Ringo, man, he gave me one of the best reviews I've ever gotten on my music when I dropped Periwinkle Blue. Like,
yo, I remember you posted that on Facebook.
Yeah, because I was like, dude, this is my English teacher. Like, that's like, and he still supports. He's like, dude, this is like, I want to say a masterpiece. He's like, I don't want to say that yet because I know you're gonna continue to make stuff, but a masterpiece. I was like, wow. I'm sitting here. I'm a 19-year-old who made. It was pretty good.
You really got me into like enjoying like the like words and language in general. Like I really fell in love with the English language back in the day. Shout out semicolons. I know he'll appreciate that.
So it's like that one English teacher. So like I had an English teacher at AITE, Mr. Stout. Shout out Mr. Stout one time, who like found out I was like trying to rap and stuff, and I guess he used to rap back in the day. Oh. And he's a very good writer. He's one of the most insane writers like I've ever dealt with to this day. And he started a rap club after school, and it was just me. It was only me. Yeah. So it'd be like me
at each other.
Yeah, pretty much, dude. And like that's kind of like how I sharpened my pen. Like in high school is when I really started focusing on writing and not just like how many words can I rhyme over a beat in 2 minutes, you know?
Yeah.
And like really focus on like storytelling and stuff.
You guys had some cool English teachers. My fucking English teacher was so whack.
Did you have Miss Gray?
Yeah. She literally told me that like I was going to do nothing with my life.
I'm sorry if you watch this.
You know what? It's crazy. I was just thinking about this the other day.
Yeah.
I was like, who are these teachers telling these rappers you're not gonna? Who are you? Who are
You've
these
never
teachers
seen a
telling
teacher
these
like
15-year-olds you're never
teacher.
gonna be anything? I'm like, yo, I'm telling my parents.
It's
I'm getting your ass fired.
It's like one of two things. Like it's either like you're a terrible teacher, like you're supposed to motivate these kids. Why are you putting them down? Or two, that kid must have been like the biggest piece of shit ever.
Oh yeah. Dude.
But have you ever had a teacher like that?
Imagine, huh?
Have you ever had a teacher like that?
Jesus.
Like,
Nah, I've never had a teacher.
Yo,
But
also,
I
had a teacher. I had a teacher like that, yo. My 6th grade teacher, Mrs. Wilson, yo.
Oh god.
You're from the Bronx. It's different.
But
The curriculum
but-
is to put down kids.
but
in the Bronx, just put every kid down in the Bronx.
That's too much.
Nah, it's like
Shout out to BM.
I
You
mean,
ever go on
y'all
World Star?
number your schools for Pete's sake. Like,
You ever go on World Star and see those videos of the kids like fighting their teachers? Like I feel like that's the kid
my
that the
God.
teacher like says it
Yeah.
to. You know,
Oh,
the kid who like throws a trash can in the
But,
middle
like,
of class. Like
But in my situation, like Miss
Miss Gray,
Grace,
she's just evil.
yeah. I mean, I'm not
I
gonna say.
hate to say that, but
But the way,
Non-shout-out.
what I want to say
they're
about
just putting
people
these
like
names
that,
out, like,
no, I don't even
Shouldn't
care.
go see it.
But the thing is, like the thing about people like that, and this just applies to everybody. Like Miss Gray for me, but like I'm sure everybody has like a version of like Miss Gray. It's like a lot of the time people will put other people down because they're not like happy with themselves or they're trying to figure themselves out. So. You know,
for Mike.
yeah. The thing is, you just got to be open-minded. Like, you can't, like, maybe when I was in high school, I took that a little bit more personally because I'm still, like, trying to figure out life.
Yeah.
But, like, you know, everyone has, like, if someone says something nasty or negative to me, I kind of just brush it off because it's like, I'm confident in my ability. I'm not, you know what I mean? Miss Gray told me I'd be nothing, and now I do what I love. So
Who's laughing now, Miss Gray?
At the end of the day,
yeah.
anybody who ever doubted you, like, oh, P.MO, he's just a white kid in class rapping, Squires.
That's basically how it used to be.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you guys, like,
We're doing it.
right
You're doing
now,
it. You
you
have the
guys,
passion
the
for
position you're in right now, most people
Don't
in
even
life
get to. No, trust me, I'm
Imagine
well aware.
12 million people well, let's say some people are replaying.
Yeah, a couple times. Yeah.
Imagine
Yeah.
10 million, 9, 10 million,
Dude.
millions of people hearing your voice.
Dude, a fraction of that.
Or anything you
Yeah,
create.
yeah,
You know what I'm
fraction.
saying? Like,
Dude.
That you have to remember a vast majority of human beings on this
Don't
planet.
ever see that. No, trust me, we are
So-
well
It's
aware.
Yeah.
it's a surreal experience. I'd say
Yeah.
it's weird too.
Yeah.
It gets really
it's like
weird.
Yeah, it definitely can get weird, but it's
because
like
it gets heavy. It gets really
the
heavy
thing-
because the way people feel and like the way they try.
all right.
You guys ever get like people out in the street just coming, hey, like,
It happens.
yeah,
It happens.
occasionally, like occasionally, but it's just weird because right now we're like in like so most people who are at our level have a whole team behind them. They have a manager, like we manage ourselves basically. You know what I mean? That's like where it comes down to. They have a whole team. They have
There's
a
like
label
three,
behind them.
There's 3 people that make up our.
Yeah, as of right now, it's
yeah,
like
it's just
me,
me,
you,
him,
and Ty.
and our engineer Ty.
like that's really like the core.
2-4 actually.
2-4, 2-4. Yeah.
Shout out to 4.
So with
There you
all
go.
this talk,
He's
of
always tying to me
success,
though.
Like with young success, do you think other people seeing young successors put pressure on them? So like, say a 23-year-old is at home on Twitter seeing another like you
Yeah.
guys.
I mean,
absolutely.
It
Like,
depends.
when you really think about like the big success stories, like one of the biggest ones that I can think of right now is Justin Bieber. He
Yeah.
literally
For
was
sure.
putting up like videos of him playing the piano,
like,
playing the
drumming and
guitar
stuff,
on
yeah.
YouTube, just putting it up just to mess around. He just got scooped up. You know what I'm saying? And it's one of the biggest like success stories of our generation.
Yeah.
One thing
Justin Bieber, for example.
I think one thing I've got really good with is just not comparing my journey to other people's.
Yeah.
You know what I
need to
mean?
get like
Exactly.
that.
It's hard,
Dude,
it's
it's
all
not
I
e-
do is compare myself to
I
others.
mean,
Well,
it's
you
definitely
can,
hard,
dude.
especially with like the vast majority of
Things
like
change so
creators
quickly.
nowadays.
I go on random tangents. I go on random tangents.
We know.
I know they're tired of hearing
Yeah.
it, but I can't help it. I see these young people, and I love it. I love to see these Billie Eilish,
17 years
Billie
old, bro.
Eyelash, 17
Billie
years old.
Yeah.
Who's Billie
And
Eyelash?
she is one
Didn't
of
she,
the
like, break a
biggest
record?
pop stars in the game right
No,
now.
I
Mind you,
know.
I think
No,
she's kind
she's
of an industry plant.
She's 100%
Oh,
industry
100,
plant.
100%.
We'll talk about that later.
But you can't create the type of person that she is.
That's facts.
So they took her and they were like, okay, we're just gonna bring you over here
She's
and
genuine.
drop you down
She's
in front of
genuine.
Rappers
everybody.
fuck
Yeah.
with her, like,
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
like people fuck with her.
No,
Like,
but she is industry plant. But
She's
she is an
Shout
industry
out to her,
fabricated.
brother.
I think she just has a good backing.
Yeah.
That's what an industry.
Yeah.
I mean, like, look. She came from a family of musicians and talent, and right, like she was.
Yeah, she had
Her dad did
She
something,
was
yeah,
like
yeah,
famous
yeah.
on Vine though, way before
Yeah,
all that.
this
So
is
she
true.
was,
This
she
is
was
true,
really
yeah.
big on Vine, and she did that herself. So, I mean, you can't like everyone. Like I said, everyone has their own journey. Like what may work for Billie Eilish might not work for P.MO Mike Squires, and might not work for Jet. Like it's just how it goes. You know.
I'm trying to I understand it.
Yeah.
I'm just not
Accepting
Wrap
it.
your
I
head
want
around
to
it.
be. It's a selfish, narcissistic thing in me. I want to be. Oh, the youngest so and so.
The youngest,
to
most
do this.
successful. Like, yeah, no, I
like,
feel
you know
you.
what I mean? The youngest. You know,
But you know, it's
to
another-
ever
Well, you can't-
win
but you know, it's
hip-hop
another thing,
rap
too,
Album collab,
is like-
Grammy, this and all those like Giannis.
I feel you. But I feel
Antetokounmpo.
Oh man, he's
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
I don't know who this is.
He is the power forward
Sounds
for the
made
Milwaukee
up.
Bucks. Power forward for the Milwaukee Bucks. He won an MVP award last year, 24 years old.
Yeah.
LeBron James, by the time he was 22, or 23, I want to say, he had already been to the finals. Like,
Yeah, but you can't compare yourself to other people's journeys. Like
And
that's it. Literally, just comes back to that because it's like you'll drive yourself crazy because literally they haven't. The grass is always greener on the other side.
and it's not fair to yourself because
Exactly.
they went through a specific path to get there.
And it's also like
Yeah.
a
You know,
timing thing.
It's also like definitely like a time.
How old is
thing.
this like kid that you're talking about?
Giannis? He's
Yeah.
our age.
Well, I'm sure maybe fucking Jordan's looking at him now and the grass is greener because he wishes he was in his position now because he's younger. You know, I don't know. Like,
But also,
it's
like, you know, like,
people can-
I feel like
grass is always greener.
everyone gets their success at the time they're supposed to and the time they can handle it.
Some
Because,
people blow up
say if you were, like, super successful right now, who knows if you're even
We'll have
ready
that
to handle
later.
it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like
Yeah,
there's all these kids like Lil Pump. Lil Pump got super big. Now what do you hear about him?
Nothing. I mean, he did drop.
But he's
this
still-
song, the Spanish song. That,
Yeah, I mean, like, he's still putting out
Yeah.
records and you see his name, but there's not all
it's
this
not- it's
crazy,
not.
like,
Oh, yeah, it's gonna-
stirred hype around him, you know?
I'm
It's
sure.
one of those
But the
ones
thing
that
is, he's
come up
like,
and
he's good for life. You know what I mean? And
Oh,
you
I
may
mean,
not,
he's
you
set.
may not like what he's doing. You may not be a fan,
what
but
are we
like,
talking about?
Lil Pump. Yeah, you may not be a fan.
I love it's a good song though.
Yeah, but
Is it? Yeah.
But the thing is, like, you may not like him, you may not be a fan, but he's somebody who's doing it. He's doing it how he wants to
That's
do
what
it.
I'm saying. I respect anybody who's like early 20s, mid 20s, younger than that, doing it.
Yeah, it's so good. It really is good to see. It's
rejuvenating.
No pun intended.
You should be honestly, if anything, like
I love it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to play that.
If anything, you should just be happy for the people and be inspired and try to do something for yourself.
You should be inspired by seeing.
I'm not one
like
of those people that see it and are like,
fuck that dude.
Yeah, like. It's like obsessively like
you get angry, bro.
No. Yo, but it's like it
should make you
fire
want it more,
burning in me. Like, oh yeah, like go time. Like what I mean?
No,
like,
I feel you. Yeah.
I love that. Like you're younger than me doing it, but like
it's makes you go harder.
Yeah, it does make me go harder. Like you know what I mean.
Pause.
Makes me go harder. All right.
All right.
Yeah, no,
Slandering table.
Shout out
ASMR.
young people doing your thing.
Keep creative. If you're passionate about something,
keep
don't
pushing.
Stop.
Keep pushing. Don't push it.
Don't
to
stop.
me.
Keep going.
Screw opinions. Screw what people are saying. Get out of your head.
Screw something.
Yeah.
Screw something. Yeah.
Screw something.
Screw whatever you want.
Post nut clarity, man. It's a thing.
Post nut clarity.
It's a real thing.
That is a real thing.
Post nut clarity. It's no nut November, so.
Yep. No.
Anyway,
I'm not gonna feel that.
Are you participating?
So back to music.
Really?
Back to music.
Are you guys participating? Well,
it's not a real thing.
What do you mean it's not a real thing?
It's not a real thing.
What do you mean?
November's not a real
I thought it was No Shave November.
He's like, what do you mean? Is it real?
No shave.
My balls are blue as hell right now. My balls are blue as a Smurf right now.
What
are we talking about?
To make fun of, like it's just,
it's illegal.
I'm not
nutting
in November.
I'm not nutting.
You haven't nutted in November,
Dude,
so
I hate.
I've seen Reddit posts of like girlfriends straight up talking about, oh my god, I really hate my situation right now. My boyfriend will be
You're gassing it,
I'm
yo.
dead. I will show you screenshots of
You
who
can
who
Reddit
you follow?
somebody else.
If you're participating in No Nut November,
No, November
stays
is
DM
not
me,
beating
and
your meat.
No.
I just want. I want to go on the record. I just want to go on the record and said I came up here with wholeheartedly expecting to talk about music.
I'm sorry, we're sidetracking right now, but like,
I just want to let you know.
But you know what?
They just revealed something.
P.MO and Mike Squires do not follow trends.
They don't.
You know what I
We
mean?
do not participate in No Nut November.
But we don't discriminate against the people who do.
I'm probably gonna transition it on that. Like,
All right.
if you do not participate, then it's just a beat plan.
No, I think it's really important to like surround yourself with like a lot of the right people too, because like really think
No, it's good.
Perfect.
really
still
think about like how
Has to do with no.
No. Fuck it. We're on the topic. We're past that. We're past that.
Surround yourself with the right people.
No, for sure. I mean,
No
like,
Nut
with
November.
the right people to motivate you into being
See,
just a
to
better
nut
version
you.
of
That-
yourself.
and I think that's a huge thing and why I like feel so good within myself as an artist, because like I always have him sitting next to me like, bro,
Yeah,
come on, bro, you fire, bro. That shit
how
was
long-
dope, you know.
How long have you guys known each other?
So my freshman year of high school, which was
My sophomore year.
2010.
That's
We're going on our 10
There's
year.
people I've seen the other day. I saw like a Twitter thread about people talking about how like y'all be having 10-year friendships, and it's like, well, does a 10-year friendship is really that far fetched? Like most of my friends, I've known them for years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
It's
like
just
some of the best friends I have today, I've known them for like a decade or 11 years now. You know what I'm saying? And they've
You
been, like,
are
my
the
best friends
people.
ever
Like
since.
I say this a lot, and a lot of people sometimes will like argue with me on this, but I still stand by it 1,000%. Like you are the people you hang around.
Absolutely.
Like if you're
hanging around them.
dude, if you're hanging around somebody who's like smoking weed all day, playing video games all day, you're more likely to do that.
Adonis was like, shit, that's me.
No, but the thing is, if you surround yourself with like, dude, okay, imagine you're surrounding yourself with millionaires. Like you are more likely to become a millionaire because all your homies are
Just by
millionaires.
association.
You know what I
that's just
mean?
how it
But it's
is.
like
The
you
trickle
learn.
down.
But you learn.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It's like the energy, and like you're not gonna want to go do these other things if all your homies are having fun, like over here, like doing their business and their grind. Like you're gonna want to grind and figure out your shit. So you are the people you hang around.
That's why I think. That's why I think there are not enough Kobe's in this world, because I feel like
the Mamba mentality.
those people don't have the Kobe's
No, keep going.
around.
So you want to become like a famous basketball player? That's unrealistic. You want to become a famous like singer? Unrealistic. You know what I mean? So I think the system, like
System is design broken.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like they're in school. They're not teaching you to build your own business and create. Like they're teaching you
they're building you with a worker's mentality.
Agreed.
Because you have to realize most people aren't entrepreneurs. Most people are the worker bees.
Or they've
of
just
the
never
world.
had the opportunity to be told. That
You will never if
You
it's
know?
The difference, I don't know if you guys ever read Rich Dad Poor Dad.
no, but my mom has.
Fantastic book, and it shows the difference between the way rich parents teach their kids and the way that a middle class or a poor parent would teach their kids.
So,
and it's very much just the things you feed them 24/7.
No,
Where
100%.
Middle class parents usually going to be like, oh, go to school for this amount of years, get a good job, start a family,
healthcare, insurance.
No, 100%.
A rich parent's going to be like, start a business,
Yeah.
hire employees, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just it's very much the way you raise a kid.
It's a different playing field.
But-
when you really think about it, like, it just puts you in a whole different playing field.
But also, I feel like
that's
there's a
one of-
reverse in that.
That's like one of my biggest gripes with like the education system today, that it was like built in the industrial era. So the education system is built to teach you how to follow orders, not it doesn't teach you how to be a contributing member to society. Because think about, America has pretty high incarceration rate in the world. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's probably like the highest. Yeah.
And you could argue that a lot of that could be the education system lacking, because at the end of the day, we're teaching people how to follow orders, not how to be contributing members of society. You know what I'm saying? There's things
That's kind of one and the same, though.
What do you mean?
You can, like, if you're being a contributing member to society, you kind of are following orders.
Nah, that's not really
not
what it is.
exactly.
Being a contributing member of society doesn't mean that you don't break the law. Being a contributing
Mike
member to
left.
society means that you it means that you go and you know how to pay your taxes, you know how to interact with our local police officers, you know how to do things here and there.
It basically means you're providing
No,
society
we're not
to
kidding.
move forward. essentially.
Because at the end of the day,
half a
society is just like a big,
Half a joke.
like machine and we're all cogs inside that big machine.
Make it
It's
turn.
If one of them doesn't turn, there's going to be
Message.
a whole bunch of different cogs that aren't turning,
Message.
and it's not going to be turning at the end of the day. So a very important thing, very gripe with the education system is that it should really teach kids how to be contributing members of societies. Like,
Other than just being like worker bees.
we
I
can
think-
start with civics. Like, just teach them how to do their what's with this taxes. Teach them how to do.
That's
stuff
one
like
thing
that.
that like
Here.
a lot of people gripe about is that like you never learn how to even like balance a checkbook or like
Yeah.
do your own taxes or like.
I think one thing that's changed for me over the years, though, was like my definition of success, like what success has meant to me. So
What
when
does success mean to you?
So when I started, because I was like, quick story, like house burned down, I needed money. You know what I mean? So at that time, success for me was I needed to make money so I can get my life back together. That was success. I had to put everything back together. Success for me now is just being happy, to be honest. Like, that's like, if you have found something that truly makes you happy and like you're at peace with your situations, you won.
Yeah.
You fucking won. You know what I mean? Nothing else matters, because I will take a job that pays shit and I'm happy over a fucking the best paying job and I'm just miserable all the time. You know what I mean? You don't want
That's why
that.
I
I
always
disagree
say-
on that
that's
last
why-
one, but I do
Yeah,
feel.
it's okay.
But no, I disagree on the very last point you had, like the whole, just
Job
'cause
thing.
I want to make some money.
But
like,
you might feel like that now. But then if you get like a crazy bag or something, like
Yeah,
you
you're just gonna
know
be
what I
happy.
mean? Like, I'm not as stressed running around as I once was, like trying to put my life back together. You know what I mean? So it's like
Because you did all the bullshit.
I did all, like, you know what I mean? I did all the bullshit, like, you know what I mean? Like, as long as I'm happy and cool, like, I won't do something if I don't want to do it, because I just don't want to be unhappy. Like, that's the most important thing. It's like, if you were, like, life was here way before money. You know what I mean? It's like, you want to do the things that you enjoy. Like, if your heart is not in it and you're not feeling it 1,000%, it's a waste of time, because you're only going to do, like, if you're passionate about something and really believe in it, those are the things you're going to do best. And you just want to make happy. So, yeah, money can help and it can be a factor, because it is, like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's not an important thing in today's society. You need money to,
especially where we live in Fairfield County.
yeah, like, fucking, you need money to thrive, but it shouldn't be the determining factor.
No.
And if I think
I
if it is
agree.
the determining factor, then you got to reevaluate, because
yeah.
you're not, dude, like,
Not finding out what
don't
makes
cop
you really
out.
happy.
Don't cop out for money. Cop out for what you love. You know what I mean?
I do feel like, in life, it is, no pun intended, all about the pursuit of happiness.
Yeah.
Like, it really is. Like,
I can't not laugh at that one.
Dude,
Did the clap when he got the job. That's one of my favorite movies, by the way.
Great movie.
But
that's a great movie.
Shout out Will Smith and Just Water.
shout out Will Smith.
Shout out Will Smith.
Your last
come
like
on this
5
podcast.
movies have been ass, but like come on the pod. Yeah,
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Gemini Man?
I didn't see it.
I
What's
heard
it?
Gemini
I didn't see
Man
Gemini Man.
tanked,
It
bro.
looks
I
like
heard it. I
low-key
heard
it
it
looks
tanked.
like-
That
Yeah.
kind of it looked good. I don't know.
I like the concept. I think more than I'd like the actual
the
movie.
the whole like selling point was look our technology.
Yeah.
We recreated Will Smith when he's 23.
Yeah.
But I feel like outside of that, the plot is like thin. Like,
I think
know.
it's just like Will Smith action, Will Smith
Yeah, right.
explosion, Will Smith, young Will Smith
Are
explosion.
you me? I am you. Are you me? I am
Oh,
you.
dude, the Spider-Man
Let's
meme again?
punch each
Like-
other.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Let's fight.
Yeah. But I do feel like it's all about the pursuit of happiness. Like we all are chasing happiness. Like
Oh,
I mean,
dude,
if
100%.
everyone was
that is
just
one of our
happy-
basic rights as American citizens. You know?
this is true.
And I think why people have trouble finding happiness is because they're focused, and also like social media is like a huge play on this.
Yeah,
Social
but
media is like-
but finish that sentence you were about to say. They're focused on.
I don't know. My train of thought just got
Damn, dude.
derailed.
I was like about to like.
What do you think he was gonna say?
Yeah,
I felt like he was gonna say like people like will focus on money. They'll focus on like
that's what I thought
you know
with it.
like
What
Well,
other people
they're
are
they focus on like what they
Ooh, full
think
circle.
will make them happy. So like
they think it'll make
you
them happy.
pull up
but then
at
they
a
realize,
red light
yeah.
in a Corolla and next to a guy in a Ferrari. Dude in the Ferrari is probably miserable as shit. You know what I mean? Because all he does is work, and like he has one day a week to go out and drive this nice, expensive car that he worked his whole life to buy. Meanwhile,
This goes back. Yeah, no, go ahead. continue.
yeah. Well, meanwhile, like you're in
I
your
wanna play off
Corolla,
this,
but
too.
like you're chilling, you're bumping your favorite song, you're happy, like life's good, like you have no stress, no
Life
worries.
is good.
If you life is good.
Shameless promo. No,
the
but like I just feel like people are always focused on like the wrong idea of what they think. I feel like people think
You know
happiness
what?
is obtaining
Ooh.
something and obtaining money, and then once you obtain the money, then you can obtain the house and you can obtain all this. But like, if you're sitting there in a big empty house alone, like
It just
Dude.
goes back to like what Mike was saying
miserable.
earlier, how like happiness is just like what you should be pursuing. Like what he pursues as success is happiness, because you have people that like were successful, you know, and unfortunately like harmed themselves, like Robin Williams, Kurt Cobain.
So, yeah,
they had like quote unquote all the success in the world.
Exactly.
If you-
and they
Chester.
felt that way, you know.
If you like Ferraris, go get yourself a Ferrari. You know what I mean? If that's what
Yeah,
you
oh, for sure. If that's gonna
genuinely
genuinely
like,
make you happy.
get a Ferrari. But if you're getting a Ferrari
Because you
for the
think it's
approval,
what's gonna make you
or
happy?
for the approval of other people's, or
Yeah.
for like a look or something,
That's nowhere
fuck
to
that
live your
car,
life.
bro.
Yep.
Like,
But
you,
here's one devil's advocate kind of thing. What if like somebody really does get a kick out of like getting those social media likes? What if like somebody really gets that serotonin
Well,
from
then
getting
that-
So
a
is
certain
is
amount
it
of likes
is
on
it
social
is it
media,
really
a
a
certain amount of replays?
are they really getting a kick out of it, or is it like become an ingrained behavior because they've learned that likes equal self-worth, and that's not really what self-worth is, though?
That's hard. That's hard because that's hard because if your happiness depends on
If
the
you-
approval of other people, it becomes
And there's a
not
lot
real.
of- there-
it's
there
like
are-
the illusion of happiness.
there
It's
are
not
a lot of
actual
people that are
happiness.
like that, though.
There are people like that, but there are a few things in this world that all humans can like can kind of like agree on make you happy, quote unquote, or at least for the time being. If you were to show some random like tribesman in some random third world country Instagram, you take a picture of them and post it on Instagram
getting
and
hit with
say
a bow
this is
and
your
arrow, bro.
Instagram. Oh, you have 13 likes. They're gonna be like, I do not know what you mean. You know? Like, you know what I mean? What is this that
I
you
have
like?
13
Yeah, yeah.
chickens.
It makes
them-
we get a kick out of it because we
Yeah.
know what it equals. Whereas, like, if we were to give somebody some food or water,
You know,
for sure, like
sex,
change
like, these
somebody's
things,
life.
These
That's-
things are
Sex is a good
universally.
example.
That last one was
dude, the thing.
Sex isn't a good
Listen,
example.
no, it's not.
the things that I get a kick out, dude.
We all are happy when we nut.
Here we
We
go.
all get a happy. Okay,
Man,
we're gonna
can I
transition.
tran-
now
let me
because
transition,
We've been
let
on
me
this
transition.
topic for a while.
Let me transit. Let me just say this. The thing about like
We are all happy when we nut.
that is the name of the episode.
Not this month.
Oh my god.
God damn it! Yeah. God damn it! We've at a breaking point. God. What a
Man.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
I like totally lost my train of thought.
I'm sorry.
No, it's all good.
It honestly was my fault.
You know
No.
why? That post nut clarity hasn't hit.
It's not November, bro. It's not none.
No, but to, you know, to some people like really
No clarity
really,
for the month.
So some people really get that serotonin out of like you know putting comments, that engagement. Like I feel like
For sure.
Today it's being called kind of like an illness. I forgot what it was called. It's like social media something disorder. Like
Yeah.
and people are calling it like an illness where it's like,
Or
oh,
like
you
an
want the
addiction,
approval
yeah.
of other people, but
You should
it's
use
been
social
like that
media as
since,
a tool.
Like really the beginning
Exactly.
of time.
Like you.
'Cause
Social media is a tool.
Different
Yeah.
ways.
it's just in a
but
different way. It's on your phone now, and it's
but
on your
that-
screen.
That doesn't make it better though. It's still a bad thing.
But I feel like it
It's
matters, like-
not bad thing, but essentially it's like you're living through false glasses always.
Is
all
it
the
false
time.
glasses when you
It-
get approval from
Well,
other people?
I feel like it
Like-
matters how you go into it. So if
Listen.
you're going into it with the thought that you just want to have the approval of other people, that's messed up because you need to
it's just
find your own
posting
self worth.
your picture
But
and
if you're
posting it.
using it to like share your art and really like connect
Or
with
do
people,
that.
if you're
If
using it as
you're-
like a platform to connect with people, I think that's,
If you're not happy
the
with
way.
yourself, it doesn't matter. It literally doesn't. It's like it goes back to the money thing. Like if you're not happy,
Facts.
If you're not happy with yourself, doesn't matter the likes, doesn't matter the money, doesn't matter the car,
doesn't
doesn't
be
matter
miserable.
anything, because the happiness is going to be the most valuable, high worth thing that you can do. Self peace and happiness. That's what I'm saying. That's what success is to me.
Before you say real
Think
quick,
he wants to
Yeah,
change
you
it.
know
yeah,
what?
I wanted to
Modern day
to end on that.
modern day comics. I feel like that like people don't really go to like comedy clubs as much as they used to anymore.
Right,
I
they
feel
watch-
like today the modern day comics are the people on social media that you know go into like that place trying to make people laugh and trying to get you know that kind of approval that way.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
Okay. So
Tran.
Did you give this album a listen? Did you like it, hate it? What would you rate it?
did you like it? So there's a lot of artists
Slandering.
who's been on the charts for like multiple years.
Yeah.
Like multiple years. Like Drake has been on the charts since 2010. It is now 2019.
Probably
It's
longer
gonna
than
be
that. I
Queen
feel
B
like.
been in the game for damn near
Queen
2
B,
decades.
Rihanna,
Facts.
all the. What do you think like keeps them up there?
They just like stay relevant. You know what I mean?
And
like
consistency.
the consist.
A lot of people could call that being.
How do they stay? How
but
do they
it's
stay
not-
relevant?
the thing is-
Consistency.
Culture
I'm gonna.
vulture?
I'm not gonna agree
I
with the
can't-
consistency.
Consistency is so
Because once you
important.
get to a
Rihanna, I'm
certain
waiting on
level,
music.
you don't
Please
need
drop
consistency.
Consistency is so
Not
important.
true.
Like, that's
Not
absolutely.
true.
Rihanna
That's
hasn't
very
dropped
true.
the album for like 4 years.
Frank
Yo.
Ocean hasn't
Yeah,
dropped
but her albums have been
singles
so but
until
but
recently.
Frank
The thing is,
Ocean was so fire.
it's all
that, like, it left
situational.
a
Like what's consistent
lasting
to
print.
one artist might not be the same. Like, you know, some artists might have to drop every week, but if an artist like puts out a project that has longevity and lasts longer, like as long as they get it within like their time frame, that's like the play.
Do you
know what I mean?
feel like artists who have to drop every other month are like less talented than
No,
artists
I
who
wouldn't-
have to
Any less
who
better?
drop?
It depends on like where you are in your career. And again,
Yeah.
this is like the pointing left and right, like or like not comparing yourself to anyone else's journey because what might work for Jet might not work. What might work for Drake might not work for Beyonce. You know what I'm saying? It's like the same thing. So
I do think saturation is a thing, though.
So what I was gonna say to touch on saturation is that like the way that people consume media nowadays is in such like a quick fashion. That's why songs are getting shorter
Microwave,
and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Extreme.
So I think like
consistency is so important.
consistency is important because of how much oversaturation there is. For like every like 5 songs you might drop in like a 3 months time, there's like a kid who put out like 100.
But do you
know what
think
I
you
mean?
should
But
feed into that though? Do you
It's
feel like you should-
situational. As long
Yeah,
as you
it
don't feel like
depends.
you're compromising your quality,
Yeah.
then go for it. There's no reason not to drop as much as you can. Like
Like there was like a year where Gucci Mane released like an album or like a project every single month or something like that.
yeah,
I think so.
I don't know.
I'm
I
not
don't
sure. I'm
know.
not positive.
I
Yeah,
mean,
don't know.
Gucci has hundreds of mixtapes.
But the
Yeah.
thing is
He's
He's
also
one of the hardest working men in hip hop. But
But-
at the same time, I'm not listening to any of them because it's just so much. Like, you know what I mean? But I
you
respect
take
it.
you take an artist like Drake and who's been in the game for so long. I think one thing Drake's done incredibly is
He's consistent, yeah.
but adapting to the times, but also keeping it still very Drake.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like when you listen to like a Drake song that's like new, you're not like, oh, he's just doing this exactly. Like I think he puts his own like spin on it. Like
I
I
agree.
thought
Drake
God's
seasoning.
yeah, like
That's what I like to
The,
call it.
the Midas touch.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Kanye's
For
a
real.
touchy subject now. Some people like him. Some
I mean,
people
I'll
don't.
talk about
Let's
Kanye
talk
all
about
day.
Jesus,
Polarizing.
Jesus is King, by the way, just real quick. if you heard it.
I enjoyed the album overall, but it felt like you can't like you can't compare. Like I appreciate it for what it was, but it's like it's not as polished as a My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, one of the greatest albums of all
mixing
time.
is what-
The mix is like
But
it
why
just
he
wasn't-
say he was taking more time to work on the mixes?
But the thing is, but more time, like
The songs weren't even done.
yeah, I don't know. So I think it's like we're seeing a more raw Kanye. Like, but the thing is, like, the only person, like, if you're taking it like surface value of like what it is, like, you could just appreciate it for what it is. Like, just don't. You can't knock it for what it's not. So overall, like, I personally enjoyed it. Like, is it my favorite Kanye project? No, but do I still find value in it? And are there things that like inspire me about it? Yeah, you know. But it's like, a lot of it did feel like very like
Rushed.
Yeah, or like demo quality.
I feel like he should have definitely used the choir, or he should have emphasized on the choir a lot more.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of good moments on there. I like the intro. I like the what's the joint? The Selah. I like that track. Like, I like the friggin' drums.
No, he's got some good songs.
That wherever
I like
that
Water's pretty good.
There's a sample on there. It's like kind of like a more boom bappy track that I really like.
On God.
Is that the one that with the arpeggio? That
Yeah.
Like, I do like that one too. I thought.
I don't know.
I wish
That's such a yay flow.
me
Such a
personally,
yay
I
flow.
wish the mixing was better on that track, but I really like that like that video game like kind of synth that comes in.
I
But
wonder if the mixes sound
But
raw.
what?
I said I wonder if the mixes sound raw because Kanye wants the experience to be felt like when you're listening to the album, like you're sitting in a church listening to it.
Stop.
Yo, bro,
It's
you never
it's
know, bro.
Kanye
It could be
stands that
deep,
say
bro.
that on Reddit. And they're
Could be
like,
that
"Dude,
deep, bro.
You just don't understand. You don't have the IQ to like you. He wants to simulate sitting in a church. No, there is no reason on earth some of those mixes should sound like that. I physically like cringed when I heard some of those mixes. I was like, yo, you're Kanye West. Why do I have some better?
I would
mixes
argue
than you?
that Ye
shit with
and
Mike
Kipsy
Dean.
Ghost have like very similar mixing styles. You know what I mean?
But here's the thing, Ye's mixing sounds a lot better than this. This sounds like he literally recorded it and was like, put it out. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
I saw a lot
put
of
it out.
memes
you
that
can
said,
hear
like-
the room he's recording in a lot of the
Yeah.
tracks. Like, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I wonder if like him pushing back the project was him actually like finishing the project and like
100%.
having songs together.
100%.
Like not even written status.
I don't know. I'm not in
Bro,
Kanye shoes.
he's been on his sloppy release game since T-Lop. Like,
But
Yeah.
T-Lop
like,
was
his
fantastic.
presentation of
Even though-
rolling out albums is bad now. Like, it's just so it's like
I don't think
Yeah,
I
'cause
wouldn't say
he's
it's bad.
scattered.
I just think he's the only one doing it. You know what I mean? Like,
it's not even
it's
just-
interesting.
Because, like, when you release an album and then you release 3 different versions of that album saying, now this is the updated album. Remember when he did that with T-Lop? T-Lop originally had,
Yeah,
like, 10
no,
songs.
I know. And say
but a
Pablo
lot of
wasn't
those,
even on
it's
it.
not like they were cool little. Well, there were some stuff like sound wise, but like it's not like there were alternate versions like
Yeah.
Tyler does. Kanye just had this version is he's gonna say it's
It's-
updated. It's got a better mix.
But it's
that's
Yeah.
the secret.
And it
It's
had more
interesting.
songs.
That's
too,
the
and-
secret.
The mix is
And
better.
then the third one, he switched out, like, Frank's track, and he made it its own thing. And
It's-
just,
I
not
don't
to
know.
get not to get too
things.
deep into his music
Yeah.
though. Going back to why I brought him up though, part of like adapting what you were saying about Drake and stuff. If you notice on every Kanye album,
It's different sonically.
It's like a time capsule to that time the album was put out. He
No,
has
I
Paul
agree.
Wall on his
I
first
think
two albums.
Kanye
He
has
Paul
done.
Wall. He has Dwell on Graduation.
I
He has
think-
T-Pain on Graduation. Like if you notice,
Yeah.
he pulls from.
Yeah.
He has Young Thug on T-Lop. He has Designer on T-Lop. Like he pulls from whatever was hot at the time, and he builds on it, which
Yeah,
I do respect.
That's his way of,
But
like,
I-
kind of staying relevant, you know?
Yeah,
But
But
Kanye.
I think
like,
Kanye has
with
done an
music.
incredible job of reinventing himself every single time.
I think the way him,
Nobody has
Michael
done it like
Jackson.
him. I think Mac
like-
Miller did it like pretty good too.
Mac
Like,
Miller did it well.
You know,
Yeah.
like really
He
inventing
has errors
himself.
with his
That's what I'm
albums.
saying. Like,
It's
and
the
you
same
can feel,
thing. Like the
like-
greatest artists, Michael Jackson, Kendrick, Kanye.
You know, you're not
Frank
getting the
Ocean.
same album every time.
Yo,
Exactly. You're getting like a
everything
new.
from their look to the way they present
themselves
like, you know,
100%.
The color palette of the album, it all goes into like the era of the album.
No, I agree. I agree 100%. And that's like one thing that I love about Kanye. It's like, you know, like we're not gonna get the same. Like, if you want that Kanye that made that project, go
Yeah.
listen to that
Go
project.
back.
quote unquote all old Kanye is never coming. Spoiler alert, guys.
He did
I want
say
the old
this.
Kanye. He's
I
never
miss the
coming
old
back.
Kanye.
This is
Straight from the
Kanye
old
West.
Kanye.
This is
Chop
just
up the soul.
how
And
he is
as
now.
it should be. Like, man, like
You're never the same person.
Why?
Nah.
The thing is, you're not in the same position. Kanye
Because
is
you're
not.
constantly evolving and changing as
That's
like,
what I'm
a
saying.
person.
Because, like, when
not
he was
even
there
being
back
an
in the
artist.
day, he would be talking about how nobody wants to, nobody wants to hear him. Oh, he's a producer that's rapping, blah, blah, blah. Now, he's not going through that. People know he's Kanye.
That's
now
what I'm
what
saying.
he's going is through family trouble. So he's going to talk about protecting his daughter.
The life you're
things like
living
that.
is
Like,
always going to be projected in the music,
It's
and it's
evolution.
like you can't make an album about struggle right now. Like
You're not struggling.
maybe
Yeah.
like listen, maybe he has like personal like inner struggles and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But I'm talking talking like if it's like a financial, like if you heard Kanye out today and he's talking about being broke, you're gonna be like, what's going on here? You know what I mean? Like, and I don't mean
like
broke.
A year ago, Kanye was talking about being broke.
Oh yeah,
But
I lost $36 million. That's
36
That's more than I ever
But
had.
the thing is, Kanye will never be broke because even if Kanye flatlines, he could put out an album and he's back up again.
Bro, Jesus King did 275K this week.
That's what I'm saying.
First
That's
week.
crazy.
That's insanity.
It's one of the best selling albums of the year already.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, dude, I would love for a single anything I put out ever to do 270. Like,
Wait
you know
on
what I mean?
Wait on it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. But Kanye
In
is
a
good.
week.
Good. That's what I'm saying. Good for life. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. But the thing is, what Kanye should be focusing on is figuring out what makes Kanye happy. You know, as an outsider looking in,
And I think
he's having
that's-
these manic episodes.
I
It
think-
looks
And
crazy.
I think that's what he's doing
Reconnecting
now.
with
Like
God,
reconnecting with
yeah.
God is his,
And if that's-
like getting back
He's
into
finding-
happiness.
yeah.
Like,
I do also feel like I'm not gonna say because a lot of people are like, oh, he's just doing it to.
for the tax cuts.
Well, people are saying he's doing it like disingenuously, like trying to get back into people's hearts. I think it's half and half.
I don't think so.
I think he's like, okay, what is something everyone can kind of admire, even if they're not that?
I think
Religion. If I'm like religious, I also do feel like it's giving him like a sense of home, a
No,
sense of
I
like
agree.
self. But at the same time,
But Kanye's always been on like, I mean, Jesus Walks. Like Kanye's always been like religious, maybe more so in certain projects than others. But I mean, his roots have always been religious.
in God and whatnot.
You
Yeah,
know?
I mean, he comes from a Baptist like background,
Yeah.
Chicago. Like,
That's what I'm saying. So it's like,
But
I don't.
I feel like I watched some of his interviews like that he's been doing, and like some of the things he says, it's like sounds a little commercially. He's like, they'll be like, so Kanye, they'll just be like, so how do you feel about Trump? Like, do you still feel that way? He'll be like, honestly, he's like, they'll be like, oh, do you support Trump? Do you still walk with Trump? I walk with God.
Yeah.
I serve God now. But then he'll go like, my company worth $1 billion. It's like, okay, like they're scattered
3
thoughts.
But the thing
billion.
is,
$3 billion.
but the thing is,
Apologize, guys.
but the thing is, like,
He's gonna come in here, bro.
the
It'd
thing
be
with
great. Kanye come to.
I heard
the
if you say
Slandering
Kanye 3
table.
times in the mirror, he pops up.
Oh, yeah.
Google.
But you know, like everyone, like the thing about Kanye too, and as somebody who's been like a Kanye fan for like, as someone who's been like a Kanye fan for years, it's like that's maybe how he's feeling at that particular moment in time.
Yeah.
Like, you ask me the same questions you're asking me a day, 4 or 5 years from now, I'm probably not going to give you the same answers because I'm probably
It's not
gonna,
the same Kanye.
It's not the I'm not the
Not
same
the same
Kanye.
Mike.
I'm not the same Kanye. I'm just not the
We all got a little Kanye in us.
dude.
I thought you
Yeah.
were talking about all the questions. I thought you were talking
It's
about
not a
Kanye.
Yeah, no, but it like, you know what I mean. It just applies. So it's like him giving like different answers and stuff. But I don't know. I just think like just from an outsider, as long as he's happy, like he's
Yeah.
good. You know what
Also,
I mean?
like I think with the whole like religion thing, like maybe he feels that the religious side of him is the best part of his character at the moment. So that's like the foot he wants to put forward and
Yeah.
really try to be positive and
I respect
be
it.
that person.
it might bring him back to a time that was simpler in his life. You know what I mean? Like he's
I think it definitely does because
know?
I feel like high key, like, I mean, I don't know what it is. But like, I see it as like, I feel like he's lost a bit of himself being around, because he came from Chicago. It was just him and his mom. And like, we all know Kanye's story.
Yeah.
And then now he's only surrounded by like that fake world of the Kardashians.
The thing
like,
is-
I'm not going to say they're fake, but like that world they live in, it's fame, it's TV.
No,
it's-
I get what
it's-
you're saying.
It's entertainment. That's
It's-
a
It
fake
requires
world.
to
That's
put
It's
on
hard
a face.
for-
I wouldn't even
Life
Yeah,
is not
like-
like
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
It's not a TV show all the time.
No, I
You gotta,
agree.
like, shuck and
It's
jive,
hard for me
like,
to even
you know?
gauge something like that though, because it's like I've never been in those shoes, so it's like I can't even.
But at
You
the
know?
same time, but yeah, I understand. But like, I do feel like sometimes he's just like, yo, just turn the fucking camera off. Let's just.
But that's like normal people.
Are the,
He's
are the
not in
cameras
that
like
show a
always
lot.
on? Like,
Oh yeah, dude.
are
They
the cameras,
film like
always
24/7.
Closed on Sunday.
Really?
You my Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
They film
Put the
24/7.
gram
I
away.
did not know that.
Dude, they're,
that
they're
would
like on
ma-
season
that would drive me crazy
what,
too.
20
like,
something.
Are they really?
Yeah, something crazy, dude.
Bro,
I
they've
don't
been
know.
Shooting since Kylie
I do
was,
respect the Kardashians.
child,
like, I don't know.
yeah.
People,
That's
So, like,
crazy.
At least 18, 19 seasons, 18, 19
It's
years.
crazy.
That's
how-
crazy. I can't imagine having just cameras
following you. That
always
entire
just
time.
how I
always
grew up
following
and,
you.
like,
That's
you know.
intense.
But you know what, dude? They have
Yeah, Brad.
Oh, the Kardashian empire. I'm not even gonna say family because it's an
empire, yeah, for sure.
That's worth billions of dollars.
I mean, dude, Kylie
The
Jenner herself is a
Kardashians are
billionaire.
good forever.
For
That's what I'm
literally
saying.
ever.
Shout out Mama Jenner. yo.
It's impossible to spend the Kardashian.
Yeah,
money.
shout out Kris Jenner for organizing
Shout out
the
Kris
sex
Jenner.
tape.
You pimped your kids to
Nah, dude, she
to a
organized a
T.
sex tape and
She pimped their kids.
Yeah.
I don't think
Okay,
she,
you're right.
I don't think
Joe
she organized
Jackson?
it.
They say she
no.
organized it.
She said as a mom, when I saw that, I was distraught. But as her manager,
I was happy.
she didn't put it together, but she made it. She finessed it because
Yeah,
she's a god. Like she's really OD
she knows
when
how
it
to
comes
play
to
the games.
managing.
Yeah, I know.
That's how you pimp your
flipped it,
kids.
She got the game on her pinky, bro. But
And it was all for her family too. She did that all for her family, just so
They
they could
were
all
good
have like a
before
better
them,
life.
though.
Like
Yeah.
I know.
People
well,
forget
her
Rob Kardashian
was like
OJ's
the biggest hotshot lawyer,
Yeah.
OJ's lawyer, but also just like one of the biggest lawyers in LA. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like at a certain point for me personally, it's like you don't want to give up like you don't want to give up the things that make you like I don't know. Like I hate the words. It's not selling out, but like you give up your integrity. You know what I mean? Like that's like one thing that I'll hold down for the rest of my life. Like I won't make a choice that's like.
What someone wants
You could put fucking whatever amount of money, but if it's not something I want to do, there is no chance of me doing it. I don't care.
That's
you know
why
what
I think it's important, like that you surround yourself with like people from the jump. Like
It's
the fact
true.
that we
You want
have
people to
like
hold you
friendships
down.
that span decades.
Yeah,
I
for
feel
sure.
like that'll just always keep us humbled and keep us.
But
like,
you're coming up with like the people, like you know, I mean, these are the people that have been a part of your come up, so they know all different like
Aspects
I'm
of
sure.
you.
I don't know who's around Kanye, but if he had like his day ones around him, they might be like, "Yo, Kanye, this isn't the move."
I think that's one of the issues is that he doesn't really.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
or as far as
talk
we're
to them like
concerned,
that
or as far
anymore.
as
Yeah.
we're
That's what I'm
concerned,
saying.
yeah.
But it's like, you know what I mean? If I'm ever on some like bullshit, like
I'm coming.
That's what I'm saying. Like they're not real friends if they're not gonna tell you to your face, like, "Yo, what's going on, dude?
Yeah.
This is not cool. Like,
Yeah,
you
acting
cannot
up.
be doing this."
But
like,
that also goes along with like the fact that you have to have like a certain amount of time with that friend. Because if you just had a friend and
No,
you just met them
100%.
this year, you can't expect them to be like, "Yo, you're not being
No.
cool right
Yeah,
now."
no, for
They
sure,
haven't
for
really
sure.
known you
no,
for a certain amount of
100%.
time,
But
so-
the real friend at the end of the day, if they see you on some bullshit, they're gonna call you out and tell you exactly what it is. The fake friend is gonna let you to continue
That's
your
right.
bullshit
Yes man,
and
yeah.
like yes man you and
it's
you know
always important to make sure you surround yourself with people that want to.
You want
elevate your own
people-
person.
Yeah.
don't
Yeah,
surround yourself with yes men.
don't
Surround
let
yourself
that don't
with
let
people who
people
wanna
like
build with you.
and don't be that person that doesn't want to be checked either. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
for
if
sure.
you're on some bullshit,
Learn how to take criticism, constructive criticism.
yeah.
No, don't check me.
We know.
Chill.
I'm not gonna say any names, but we know of
I know
an
people.
artist
Yeah.
that's like that.
It's cool. It's cool. Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's pretty much all the time we have today, guys.
Yeah, we're just about under an hour, but this was definitely
Damn,
a
it's already been an hour.
Minimal
Yeah.
talk about nutting. Minimal talk.
Minimal
It
talk.
wasn't that minimal,
I
dude.
feel like we should
mean,
talk more about
Give
No Nut
ourselves a
November.
round of
Yeah.
applause for that.
I'm not clapping.
You're not
'cause y'all-
clapping for No
y'all-
Nut
Does it
November?
remind
Y'all-
you of the cheeks too much,
Y'all
bro?
need to go bust a
No
nut
clapping.
and get that post nut
Nah,
clarity.
nah.
Last couple,
Please.
the
Just
last
for
couple
November.
Is that how we're
episodes,
ending
the
this?
last couple episodes,
Is that how we're
we
ending
we
this?
covered a series of topics like fusing with your boy to smash your girl.
So
and
that's why we were
eating
talking about that
ass,
earlier.
You
Yeah,
know,
that's
this was a nice.
Guys, I thought this
actual
was just gonna be about
conversation.
music, yo.
I mean,
we
this
talk
was a nice
about
actual.
talk about a whole
literally,
bunch of
like
cool stuff, man.
they sent me like a text sheet with all the questions. And
None of the questions were asked. Maybe two of them.
Was it two?
We
It was two.
outlined a 20-minute section about No Nut
There-
November. We actually cut it down a little shorter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you didn't send us the entire show, Leah. All right,
Yeah,
it's all right.
yeah.
No.
Next time we'll let you know.
All right,
But,
thank you guys so much for coming on.
Thank you guys for
Yeah,
having
thank
us.
you. Mike
Yeah.
Squires and P.MO, everybody listening.
Let's go.
We'll drop some bombs and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Have a
thanks.
good night. Go bust a nut.
Into nightfall, and you're not here to get me through it all. I let my guard down, and then you pulled the rug. I was getting kinda used to being someone you loved.
So I guess we're moving on. Really thought this was do or die. So I guess we're moving on. Really thought this was you and I. Fourth floor, Strawberry Hill. First time I said it, don't know how you feel. Said you were still learning to love yourself. Kiss on my cheek, really stung like hell. Ooh, yes, I've been away for a minute.